Eleanor. She's the one I cared about, the one I wanted to protect, to save, to have by my side. I worried about her, I fought hard to protect her, I killed everyone who could potentially threaten her. I was Subject Delta. Eleanor was my daughter, and Sophia Lamb, my nemesis. Always present, goading me, trying to break my mind down. I was determined though. Eleanor would contact me, send me presents to help me along the way. Because of this, I could not be stopped. Nothing Lamb could say, no amount of philosophical blabbering or army of splicers, brutes, and big sisters she sent my way would stop me from finding and being with Eleanor again. That was Bioshock 2 to me, and it was amazing. Going immediately from Bioshock to Bioshock 2 gave me an instant sense of how much everything had improved, and how much better the gameplay is. Now with the plasmid and a gun always active, gameplay is a lot more fun and quick. Shocking someone with electricity and then smashing them with my drill never got old, especially when you learn the drill lunge attack. Flying across rooms right into a splicer's face is awesome. The rivet gun was my favorite weapon, but everything got its use, whether the large 50 cal machine gun, missile launcher, shotgun, and spear gun, a very fun weapon that sends enemies flying, and also a rocket spear that will send splicers spinning before exploding. Hacking is much nicer this time around, no more pipe minigame, and instead a moving needle that must be stopped in the right space. Research is back, and this time you can't spam photographs of the same person, and instead must film yourself defeating them in various ways for the maximum points. Tonics are all in one category instead of subcategories, and plasmids are still there for those who want a varied array. I stuck to Incinerate and Electrobolt for almost the whole game though. The beautiful soundtrack is still there. Oldies tunes that remind me of Fallout 3 again, and made me want to just have a jukebox in every room so the music never stopped. Every enemy sounds great. Big daddies are still imposing and a challenge, however big sisters are now the new baddie. Agile and filled with plasmid powers, they are hard to pin down and do a ton of damage to your hulking character. At first, I thought there was only one big sister that would intimidate me the entire game and build up to a final confrontation and maybe twist reveal. But that isn't the way things work. Instead, a big sister appears whenever you have saved or harvested 3 little sisters, as far as I can decipher. They are fun confrontations, and taking on 2 of them at the end was probably the most thrilling battle, and a letdown that it's not the final battle. Spoilers ahead for the story of Bioshock 2. Story in the first Bioshock was good, but I didn't really care for it. Whether because everyone ranted and raved about it, or I had spoiled it for myself, it was underwhelming. However, I didn't know anything about Bioshock 2 besides the simple introductory stuff. Little sisters, Sophia Lamb, and playing as a big daddy. Because of this, I got enthralled in the story and characters. I worried at first about Sinclair betraying me, but came to like him, and especially his voice work, and it sucked when I was forced to kill him at the end. Sophia Lamb popping up on loudspeakers on my radio and talking about the family and how terrible a person I was made me heart set on putting my drill directly in her face. The unique characters you're given to either spare or kill were interesting. Grace I murdered because she consistently tried to kill me for seemingly no reason besides that Lamb told her to. Stanley died because of his mass murder via flooding, and Gil lived because he was simply a tool of Lamb's and I felt bad for him. Lamb herself ended up living simply because I wasn't given the choice to kill her. If it was up to me, she would have died. The greatest success of the story was my attachment to Eleanor. I loved her as my own. I worried about her well-being and wanted her to escape from Rapture and the torturous life there. I hated Lamb for using her as a mere tool for her philosophy, and when she became a big sister, I wouldn't summon her by my side that often since I didn't want her fighting and putting herself in danger. I cared about this character, this fake character who doesn't really exist and is just a bunch of pixels. And that is why Bioshock 2 is really amazing. It made me feel for a character, the way Infamous, Uncharted, Final Fantasy, and Crisis Core have. I loved the characters, cared about them, actually worried and was anxious about what would happen to them. The same way I did for Eleanor. I legitimately liked her, and I hated Lamb with such a passion I haven't felt for many villains. Handsome Jack is the only other villain I can really use to compare. Suffice to say, the entire story was awesome, coupled with the fun gameplay and return of weapon upgrades, tonics, and plasmids to collect, secret areas to explore, audio logs to listen to, and little sisters to have extract Adam for me. Bioshock 2 is just awesome. I loved pretty much every moment of it, and it was a very surprising game, since the only reason I have it is because of PlayStation Plus. Overall, I would give Bioshock 2 a 9.2 out of 10.